All right, Miss Cummings, welcome to the show. I'm
Hi.
glad you are here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, and what are you doing here?
Well, yeah, nothing like a bit of existentialism for a Friday night. My name is Wendy, aka Mrs. Cummings, aka Chris's wife, aka a secret username that no one is ever going to find out about.
Oh, come on, tell us.
No, it's the only way I get to go around in peace. So I drop in occasionally and just wander around like a normal person. And it's really nice.
Oh, the beauty of the metaverse. So, you just said you're married to Chris. You're his wife, obviously. What's it
Yeah.
like being married to a super genius, as Sam would call him, your secret weapon? His secret weapon.
Chris is probably the most clever man I've ever met and ever will meet. His concept of maths and physics is just super crazy. So our marriage is filled with a lot of me asking a question and then my eyes glazing over and yes, darling, yes, darling, yep, yes, darling, yes, darling, as I don't understand a word that he is on about. But I think a lot of marriages have that, right? Yeah, it's he's anyone who's met him, he's a great guy. He is so genuine, so ridiculously passionate about everything he does, and not just the metaverse and his work, but about his family and his friends. If he says he'll be there at 6, he will be there at 6, or he will have nightmares about it for days.
I can relate.
And he's introduced me to this whole world. And I'm not a big gamer. I've never been, into big gaming stuff. But when we met, he introduced me to things and opened my eyes a bit more to different types of games. And now for my sins, I kind of enjoy it.
So, I grew up with an Atari controller in my hand, which progressed to obviously the Nintendo and so on and so forth. So when you grew up, you weren't much into games or anything like that?
No, my dad came home when I was about 4 or 5 with an old BBC computer, like this sort of really big, basic, chunky one. I don't know what the equivalent would have been over in the States. And my brother, who's a bit older than me, immediately latched onto this. And he's also very into computers. He's more into networking and things. But he sort of, he learned to program before he could do anything else. But no, it never really appealed to me. I had a couple of little games on my, laptop, on my desktop as it was then. But no, just didn't really appeal to me, I guess, because I'd seen the mainstream kind of image of gaming as like shoot 'em ups and various first person things, which even now I'm not a keynote. People have noticed I'm not often in the zombie game. It's just not my kind of thing. But then Chris introduced me to the whole world of point and click. And these I like. We started me off on Machinarium, which I think I completed in like 2 days straight. Done Inner World. My absolute crack is Don't Starve, which I love. This is a little indie game. I think it's a German company made it, but actually for our honeymoon, we spent our honeymoon in Lapland in a snow village, and we had like an activity for like a couple of hours a day. But we spent, apart from that, the whole week just locked up in our room, fire burning, and just playing Don't Starve for hours on end, and it was heaven. Just little puzzle games. It's kind of sort of put your stick with your flag to make up something else, and that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's the kind of games I like.
That's awesome. So you got introduced to that stuff by Chris. Now, rumor on the streets is you speak a bunch of languages and you're a translator. So how did you get involved with FTL and doing what you do there?
I mean, obviously through Chris,
Right.
but how it actually happened, it's actually, I don't actually have much of a memory of exactly how I got to where I am now. It was all kind of weird, but yeah, I'm a translator by trade. I graduated in languages, and I'm a sort of freelance translator and have been for 15, 20 years. And it's what I love doing. I speak lots of languages, love to talk, love to chat. People who've seen me in the Multiverse occasionally speak to the French visitors, Spanish visitors that we have. But Multiverse itself launched in January 2020. And at that time, that was the start of the whole COVID thing. So whilst Chris's business suddenly kind of took off a little bit, Mine pretty much dried up. I had to look after our son. He was home from nursery, and there wasn't any freelance work going around. So in a kind of a desire to help a little bit, I was watching what they're doing, and I was looking at the planetarium, which at the time it had, I think, about 25, 30 rooms, which was just a kind of, the starting set that San had done. And although I'm not a big gamer, one thing I am is a completionist. And it was driving me nuts that there was not the full set of planets in there. And I was going, come on, like what, where are the gas giants? Where's where's Mercury? And I realized that they didn't have the time. It takes making a planet room is quite a big thing. So I kind of said, well, hey, look, I've got time on my hands. I could do a bit of research for you. I could just look up the images, write the little green button text, get you a bit of background stuff, so then you can actually make the room yourself. And I was pushing to do this, and then I genuinely cannot remember how I got from that, which I never actually did, by the way. I was suddenly making a room. San had the idea, a bit odd, to make a room about coronavirus and kind of astrobiology and that kind of thing. And the room's been shelved now. But I suddenly found myself in Chris's office with him explaining how to build a room. And I did. And I really don't know how I quite got to that point. The first one was pretty rubbish. It was like every 10 seconds, Chris, how do you do this? Chris, how do you make one of these? Chris, this doesn't work. Chris, like I've broken the whole system. And from that, next one I did, I think, was the mythology room, which is different from the one you see now. It was over in the planetarium side of things. And then the summer of 2020 was the summer of Mars. There were 3 missions launched to Mars, a Chinese one and a Middle Eastern one. So we decided to do a whole kind of Mars thing. And by that point, I've got the hang of the system. And Sam said, hey, take it, run with it, do a whole Mars section. So before I knew it, I was just making entire rooms, entire sections. And I swear, I do not know how I actually got to doing this and how I suddenly took on the responsibility and suddenly the planetarium is mine. I'm like, okay, so that's good. And yeah, those of you who in the planetarium will have seen that there is now a full set of planets. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
Did those. Yeah, and then the second version of Multiverse came out in August 2021. So I was involved. I did the galleries, did the mazes for my sins. It's a bit of fun. But yeah, I just sort of kind of fell into it really, which
Did you know people are cheating on the mazes?
This is the funny thing. I spent so many hours designing those, and with the various limitations of how the rooms work, you can't turn too many times like left in a row, so I had to like change things and find them and trying to make them tricky but not too tricky. And then we go launch them. I was like, okay, let's see how long it takes them to get to the middle. Let's see if they find the little shortcuts they've done. But as an adult, as someone who didn't grow up with VR, you're still confined by the a wall's a wall. It is. Why wouldn't it be? But the kids went in and literally just walked straight to the middle. And I was like, what? No, you've got to go around the path.
You're cheating.
And I literally stood there and I thought, it's great. They're having fun. And I know people who want to do the maze will do it properly.
Right.
Those who want to cheat, and fine. Everyone finds their own enjoyment out of it. But it hadn't even occurred to me that they just literally walk to the middle.
Yeah.
There's one thing, I can't jump over. Let's put the casinos. They can't teleport over.
That's how I did it. I just shot my beam over to the center.
You get just about right. You can just about do it. But I was like, I can't stop it.
Put it on lockdown. That's awesome. So you're a translator. How involved are you in like the educational side of things? I've been going through the rooms and checking out the VEDX and how you can start to really immerse and learn technology, or not technologies, but languages being immersed. I spoke Spanish. I learned Spanish a while back, and then I was immersed in it. So that really helped. And I can see the value with that, with VR, being able to be immersed in a language. Are you involved in helping that come along? And
Not so much. I help organise the VEDX events, but just in terms of the admin side of it and just setting up the scheduling and the rooms for them, they pretty much do the content themselves. But I do really want to create a little kind of language hub for a subsection of the campus with rooms that are either themed or just generally attractive to different language speakers, where we could host events, like I say, like language cafes to turn up and just chat, be it a beginner, improver, or a native speaker, and for other parties to come in and just, if you are a non-English speaker, because we're aware that it is an English language app, there's just too much content in there to be able to localize it and keep that up to date all the time. So if we could have a place that non-English speakers could navigate to straight away, and there meet others, receive information, that would really be something I'd love to get involved with and support if I can get around to doing that.
Oh man, I'd love to be a part of some language room. I've thought about doing a couple of YouTube videos in Spanish just to see.
Pues vamos, hablemos en español si quiere. A ver.
Oh, muy bien. I love it. So you build rooms. So you helped. I mean, you got your feet wet with the planetarium because the planets weren't finished. So now, what rooms are you responsible for? I see you dropping a lot of the, like the nightclub and the bubble gum, and so.
Yeah. So it's two sides in a way. So I'm responsible for what we call the curated parts of Multiverse. That's the planetarium, the exhibitions, the mazes, the dev zone. All the ones with the content that we put in ourselves. They're largely just lying static at the moment. They're fairly well padded out. I mean, there's obviously scope for, you can do many, many things with them, but as they are, they're fairly well rounded. So I just kind of keep on top of those and fix any glitches that occur and polish things off. I'm also in charge of the templates, which is what you guys use to make your metaverses. So the initial kind of core set of templates was actually made by our environment artist at the time, Constantine. He's no longer really as involved. So he did the wedding room, the meeting room, the terrace, the kind of square-shaped rooms. And then I've since taken over doing more templates. Just putting the different colours, different styles, making it a bit more fun. Because again, the original offering that we did, it was very much geared towards a sort of a corporate, very minimalist, laid back style. But we pretty soon realized when you guys started coming in that, there was so much more variety and so much creativity and expression that we had to do different styles. All the people who are using clubs were doing in a stark white room. I'm like, this is not going to work. We need you need a night sky, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So I produce those. And generally anything else Sam asked me to do, really. So he's like, yeah, Wendy, we need like a hub. We need like a central kind of sky-based hub thing. Go. And click fingers and you got the hub.
That sky hub is awesome. I just accidentally I guess it popped an hour early when you met me in there. Yeah. And I just accidentally stumbled upon it and was another awestruck. I just stopped and clapped for a minute. You guys are amazing. Yeah. Every drop is just beautiful. And then Unity drop, that was beautiful. Is it hard to do that, to get a grasp of this system you guys are using to build these rooms?
No, it's incredibly easy. So as we touched upon, I'm not a programmer. I've got a fair head on my shoulders, and I understand the concept of kind of things. And I said I can do HTML. I know how to make a website, but that's pretty entry level stuff.
Right.
And if you'd said to me, a couple of years ago, hey, you're gonna be making like these entire VR spaces, I'd have just wouldn't have believed you, because I thought you would need, massive experience and whole teams and things to help you. But what Chris has done, he's invented a whole new thing. It's called ShapeVR, and it's a technology that you can use to make VR spaces very quickly and very easily. I don't understand how it works. Don't ask me to explain that. That's a question for Chris's interview.
So Chris is responsible for the program that makes the VR world.
Yeah, the way I kind of see it in my head is a kind of a very, very layperson's definition is he's kind of made VR Lego. So he's made the building blocks which you can then use to build whatever space you want in VR. So I then take those and build different shapes of them as you would with a set of Lego.
That's amazing.
And yeah, it's stupidly easy to do. So it uses a language called XML, which is a very, very simple coding language. And it's very intuitive and very, very structured. So it's really easy to kind of follow. And I did a little research, kind of think, what do I want this room to look like? And do a little kind of few sketches. And you may realize, as I think I mentioned just now, all of the rooms I do are circular. They're all based around this sort of circular shape.
And you guys did that for the communal aspect, right? Of people being able to join in a circle and communicate and talk.
No, it's because of the way the rooms are generated. So the standard way of making rooms, which we still have some of, and other apps do, it's very involved with an artist meticulously designing, the room. It's high spec, high custom. The Comedy Club is an example of that. That's a custom built room. Where every single element is designed individually, and it takes a long time, and it's a fairly skilled process. With the rooms that I make, it's using a thing called procedural generation, and I have no idea what that means. That's what it's called. So it's based around circles because they're very easy to for a machine to build, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's take, for example, the Metaverse room, or the club room, as most of you guys know it. You start off and go, okay, so I want the floor. I want it to be radius of 12 meters. I want the wall to be 5 meters high, and no hole in the middle. And I type this. I go wall height equals 4, radius equals 12, has hole equals false. That's what I type. And ping, it makes a floor with a wall. Okay, so I want to divide this floor into like a pie, like pieces of pie. I want to make it into like 10 pieces of pie. On the first piece of pie, I want a big screen on the wall. Ping, in it goes. I literally type slot equals wall, content equals screen, and in it goes. And around you go, and you go, okay, so in this little slot here, I want little mini walls. Ping, you got a booth. Okay, right, I want level 2, so next floor. This floor has got a big hole in the middle, so has hole equals true. Plonk on top of the first one, and you've got two stories. I want 4 doors. Ping, 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 in they go. And yeah, so it's as simple as that, as typing in simple commands, and Chris's system makes it into a room. Then you apply the colors, and that's kind of the fun bit, really, looking for materials and the textures. You've got these kind of libraries of like tiles and concrete and bricks and grass and things to bring life to the room. So for the metro system, I was looking for these kind of like really shiny little tiles that you get in old-fashioned metro systems. And like some of the bubblegum room was really good fun to do, just looking for like, how pink can I make this? Like, what can I find that's just the pinkest, spongiest, fluffiest colors to bring these rooms to life. And you apply those, and again, you literally just say wall material equals, whatever name you've downloaded, floor material equals ping, 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 and your room's built. And yeah, there's tweaks and alignments and things to put in, and there's limitations with it. You can't, I would love to do like a square, like a flat wall, and you can't do anything with it. You have to work within these restrictions, but it does basically mean that someone like myself with no, I don't have 20 years experience like Chris does. I have 0 experience, well, 2 years now, but I start with nothing. But with that, I can make these rooms that you're using, and I think they're half decent. So it's amazing that what Chris has done is made it such a cheap and easy way to make amazing space. And I think that is one of the reasons why it's being so popular, our multiverse, compared to others, is it's quick, it's simple, anyone can do it. So even once I've done these templates, you guys then just with your website, plop in your images, and there it is. That there's no, you don't need to code anything. You don't need to understand anything of how it works. But instantly you have an infinite variety of spaces that people have created with barely any effort at all. And so it really is a user-generated kind of area that we just provide. We provide the building blocks for it, and you guys take those blocks and make it.
And we love it. I'll tell you what, I referred to that in one of my videos about how Facebook building the Oculus has made it very simple for people to jump into VR. And then you guys with Multiverse and Infiniverse have made it very simple to have basically a 3D website that you can run a business out of. And it's so easy. I can do it. So, it's easy. And I think because of that, you guys are going to win. So I know San and Chris, I've heard that they had a meeting like 5 years ago, and this was their idea to build something based on a website. I'm sure you caught wind of their discussion as the plans are forming a little bit here and there, and you're watching it from a distance, and then you get involved. What's your journey along the way as you see the vision? And then now, after being involved and seeing this influx of the most creative people I've met in such a short time ever are getting involved, where do you see this 10, 15 years down the road?
That's a really, really hard question. With the path to now, I've really only I've not had much of an insight as you think perhaps I would have done living with Chris. I knew he was working on something. I knew he was busy building something or other in VR, but I don't think I actually realized what it was until really quite before launch. And yes, that's lovely, darling, very good. But he didn't really share with me that concept. And I think if you're not explained it, or if you're not, particularly involved in the gaming world, it's very easy to not see that vision.
Right.
And I was blown away with the quality of the VR, and you kind of had to imagine it might be a bit kind of geeky or dorky, but no, you go in and you go, wow, these graphics are amazing. This looks incredible. So I was completely blown away with that. But then again, I kind of sat back and didn't really know what was going on. Then I got involved with making the planetarium stuff, as I described. But even with the Infiniverse, I knew he was working on something to do with like a city. He'd like, come look at this, my screen, look at this. I was like, yeah, darling, that's like a big city. Yeah. I know what it was. And I didn't even know they'd launched it. So it launched, I think it was on a Friday night or Thursday night. And I didn't even know who'd done this. If people ask sometimes, why don't you have an apartment in Cryonic Circus? I didn't even know they launched. I came in 3 days later. Like, you've got to see this. So I wandered in, going, all right, I'll have a look. At which point, it was already filling up, and I got one just 2 blocks back because my 500 coins, which you could still buy at Grand Central End, but I couldn't get it for the first, for a couple of blocks.
Right.
So I'm very much kind of then obviously when everything absolutely skyrocketed, I very much got involved and said, right, tell me, what is this? What have you done? Because people are asking me questions.
What have you done?
What have you done? Our lives. Our nice, quiet, peaceful Christmas is cancelled, darling. We need to be online.
So you guys are in this nice little cozy place in the UK, not much attention on yourselves, making cool planets, and now you have a world surrounding you watching exactly what you're doing. What are you building?
For goodness sake, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I love it.
So I've kind of seen the progress to now in kind of sudden chunks. And obviously now I'm very much involved and looking into it and understanding more of how it's going. And I have to be honest that I do not know where this is going. If 2 years ago I couldn't have imagined this,
right.
If 3 months ago I couldn't have imagined this,
5
years in the world of VR and this technology, in the same way that 100 years ago people couldn't even imagine talking on a telephone to each other or let alone watching these moving images on a screen. There's things going to be invented that I don't think we can even conceive of. And we always talk about the Google glasses or the AR stuff, and the fact the headsets, the big chunky things are going to become so lightweight and accessible to everybody. So yeah, we can't really imagine what's going to be invented. And I keep saying to people in that, they go, oh, when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? We don't know. We're breaking new ground here. This has never been done before.
Right.
On technology that hasn't existed before, with systems that Chris is inventing as we're going along. It's impossible to say how all of these things are going to combine. And again, the idea of this interconnected metaverse is I think also crucial, because whilst you could in theory put a limit or define Chris and Sam's vision, what you can't say is when that vision then hooks up to other people's visions, the tech that they're working on that we can then combine with ours.
I agree.
Plus the community input from their ideas and what they make with this tech. Those are interactions that you cannot predict. And yeah, it's scary as hell. That we're, Chris has always had ambition ever since we first met. I met him 10 years ago, and he's always said, I'm going to make it big. I'm going to do something big. I've got, I want to make a thing that people love and that's popular and enjoyed. And I've never had that ambition. I'm happy just to grow old peacefully and and sit in my rocking chair on the veranda and with my knitting. That's honestly what I am. So it's scary how fast this is going and how amazing it could be. And I'm kind of buckling up tight and holding on for the ride. And I love, watching Chris's dream come true. This truly is, you have no idea how stressed he is and how hard he's working, but it's his absolute dream to do this and to make this tech that people can use and that will, shape the future of an industry that, he has given his all to since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly do not know what the future is going to hold. But I guess, I'm going to find out pretty soon, huh?
I love what you said there. Is you're charting new territory. I mean, there's a lot of us that have been in the Infiniverse since pretty much day one, and we're considered ourselves, self-proclaimed OGs and pioneers. But you and Chris and San and the team are pioneering a whole new way of the future, really. And I think I hope the community that you guys are building understands that, and they're patient and not looking at this, oh, get rich quick, metacoins, NFTs, come on, but understanding that you're changing history. This is going to be a point back in time when we look back, when like MySpace and Facebook changed history, Google, Amazon changed history. And I believe, this is my gut feeling, but Metaverse and Multiverse, and like you said, there's these other metaverses that are being built, and as soon as all these systems can communicate better, and you guys, I believe, are right in the forefront of all of that. I'm just excited to be along for the ride.
when we get a Wikipedia page about us, we'll know that we've made it. I reckon that's maybe a landmark.
I'll get one started.
Even though I said that, everyone's going to rush to make the page about it, so we lose them. What you said.
Beautiful. I love it. So you're kind of considered, I've heard some say, the mom of the Infiniverse. You have millions and millions of children now out there. How do you love your little community?
Oh man. I'm going through a phase right now. So at first, there's FOMO going on. You got to go in there, you got to see everything, and it's going so fast, and you got to catch it all. I'm rushing around, trying to meet everybody and say hi and everything. And then after that initial rush, I got to get down to work. So I head down and do some work. And then I pop back in and whoa, it's grown again. A bit more work. Oh crap, it's grown again. I can't keep up with this. So it's got to the point now where I'm so behind with what's going on that I just can't keep up with it all. So I'm desperately trying to get in there and see the stores and see the galleries and see the hubs people are creating and watch everything. But it's just impossible to kind of keep hold of things. So I love talking to people, I love meeting people, and it's such fun when I do that. And people have asked me, what's your favorite bit about this? And it genuinely is seeing, when I make these templates, I put those dull placeholder images, every picture is the same, and I'm in there and it's every little time it's just this static, really plain dull thing. And then I come into someone's metaverse that's used that template but has put these in artwork or information or videos, and it suddenly becomes this living, inspirational, creative, artistic, informative thing. And to see that, it's almost like I'm walking in for the first time every single person's metaverse I go to. I could spend hours just wandering around seeing it, and I think I'll never get bored of doing that. So as long as you guys keep doing that, then I'll keep coming and finding them. And
I know I think about it too. I think our minds kind of are stuck on this 2D, just what we've always had, for the last 10 years. And we walk in and I see people and I'm like, oh, what else can there be? Okay, you made a video, big deal. And then I see somebody like a random noob. I kind of highlighted him in my last video. And he's out there making it look like he's flying a drone, changing and like I was saying before, I've never met so many creative people in such a short period of time. And
the other thing it's amazing is we're spawning brand new, like the door shops. That didn't even exist before. That is a new business that is based on what we've done. And I saw their logo, someone's on a logo shop offering some free logos for the apartment fronts.
Right.
And this is just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. We're kind of creating little companies that creating little businesses, creating lively one. I don't live off the proceeds of a door shop yet, but nevertheless, these things didn't even exist a few months ago. And it's just a living, breathing thing. It's like Frankenstein's monster, but in a good way. You zap the electricity in, and bam, you just see it get up and walk and go.
It's beautiful. I have not missed a day since I logged into the Infiniverse in December. Is there, as we close this up, is there anything you want the community to know, what you're working on, what your future plans are, anything you want them to know right now?
My to-do list, I literally have my to-do list here. So this is my paper and pen. I'm still old school like that, very much.
I'm with you.
So I've got fix the weird glints on the tree lights in the rooms. Fix the fact that stools are floating in midair in the Nighthawk gallery. It's literally my to-do list. Redo the NASA Live room because the YouTube link broke.
Oh.
So it's not riveting stuff, but that's my immediate to-do list. But beyond that, as I said, I really want to get like a language area going. That'd be like a little pet project of mine to do. I'd like to expand the galleries with a couple new exhibitions in there. I've got a couple of ideas. I think maybe American folk art is something I was looking at. That's quite a cool genre that I'm personally interested in. That, or maybe sort of go classic and like impressionism or something a bit more kind of highbrow. So just get some more cultural spaces in there. And try and get inspiration for some new templates. So I'm out of ideas at the moment, but I'm sure 2 a.m. overnight something I know what we need.
Absolutely.
And bang, the template lady will be back at it again.
Awesome. We love it. Well, we love all the work you're doing. Please pass on from me and the community how much we honestly truly appreciate what you and Chris and the team are doing. We love being along the journey. We love seeing all the new drops you guys are doing, and we really feel that FOMO and that vision and excitement for the future. And
well, if you like Lady Unity,
love her.
Keep an eye out for more.
Oh boy, you heard that here first, folks. Big old awesome drops coming soon. Hey, thank you for your time, Ms. Cummings, and we will talk to you in the Infiniverse.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.